Good morning, everybody. Is it on? Yeah, it's on. Okay, if some of you missed the agenda, Hallie made some more, so there should be some more agendas there if you want something to scribble on. Thank you for coming this morning. Let's start with Pastor Leslie.
Good morning. Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, thank you for being in our midst. Help us as we gather. Bring us creativity, passion, and integrity of working together. We give you thanks for the ways you have strengthened us in the past, and we know you will continue to guide and direct us now and in the future. We are grateful for the many ways you sustain us. Your presence in our daily lives renews us and gives us hope. Thank you for the many blessings we have, and where there is suffering or illness, we pray for the gentleness of your Spirit to sustain and bring healing. In your name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Denise, approval of the minutes?
Is this on? Yes, it is. Okay. There was just one correction. May had been given misinformation. The Mary Menders, any donations would go to the Resident Assistant Fund. So that was corrected in the actual printed out. No, it wasn't corrected in the actual printed out minutes. It'll go in this minutes. Otherwise, everything else was okay.
So can we have a motion to approve the minutes? Seconded? All in favor, aye? Aye. Don't sound like there'll be any no's. Great, they're approved. Allison, our treasurer's report.
There has been no change since my last report in June. The current balance is $2,728.74.
Thank you. Now, May, our member at large.
I need to say uh-oh in response to the correction to our minutes because I told you the wrong thing last time. The Mary Menders, and bless their hearts, half of them told me the same thing. Their funding goes to the Residents Assistance Fund. And the fund that I'm constantly up here begging you to think about is the Employee Appreciation Fund. And I don't know whether it's the A word in the middle of those two, but they get confused for years. It's happened. So I'm here to say, as you wander through this month, a special month at Hearthstone for sure, and you're reminded of the great service that the folks who work here on our staff give us every month. I would encourage you to think about the fact that you are not asked to tip anything at the Hearthstone, but this is an opportunity for you to say thank you in a special way. And you simply write a check to the Employee Appreciation Fund. Thank you.
Thanks, May. Next, normally Reggie would be speaking. He had to be called away and couldn't do it. He was going to, though, assure you that he is going to be planning and running a meeting that they do every year to talk about financial situation at the Hearthstone. The structure of it is a little uncertain now that we have the financial roundtable. Will we be involved? Will it just be Peter and him? So we haven't worked out details yet, but that will be coming with more information, and he was going to assure you of that, so done. Next, Hallie.
Okay, good morning, everybody. All right, it's still weird to see all the faces without masks up here. All right, first thing is first. We've got a lot of questions about We Care Connect, the surveys. So I made a printed guide out of Touchtown that you can find in Touchtown as well, but I'll leave these in the back. So you'll find highlighted information showing the email and then both the phone numbers that they're gonna call you or text you from. So I'll leave those in the back. Along with that, a resident here told me to use ChatGPT, and I took him up on that offer. I did a how-to DVR Comcast Xfinity guide. So if you find flaws in it, let me know. I did read through it, but I think it's pretty straightforward. I know that that's one of the new features on our cable package. So if you don't know how to use that, I will also leave a bunch of these in the back as well as in Touchdown. All right. As you all know, the channel 370 and 1971, all the content was erased. That said, we were able to recover everything except for Lisa's balance video. So thank you. Zach is gonna work with, shout out to Zach again. Zach is gonna work with Lisa to re-record a new one. It's probably time for that anyway. In the meantime, everything is running at the fitness calendar time. So if you can't attend in person, you can turn on channel 370 at the Coves or 1971 at Lakeside and watch the fitness. Assembly will still be at 7 p.m. every night. And then once we revamp everything, I'll get a schedule made so you guys can have your own little TV guide on what's on our internal channel. Okay. I see three of our foundation board members back there. On Monday, they're gonna do part 2 of the speaker series. So this time it's gonna be a continuation of estate planning. They'll also talk about reducing taxes, controlling distribution of wealth to loved ones and charities versus the IRS. So that will be on Monday at 3 p.m., the 13th. Dining update. Patty, raise your hand back there if I say anything incorrect. The rotating menu will be coming out effective the 12th of July. Because of high demand, they're going to re-offer salmon and grilled shrimp. That'll be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then Tuesday through Friday will be grilled cheese and quesadilla. A little clap for Patty, maybe. There we go. All right. Just a reminder, all the dining committee minutes are in Touchdown. So I encourage building and floor chairs to print those, just like assembly minutes, and make sure they're in your binder or that you're referring people to those if they want more information. Some sad news, Nancy Lindahl, who's a resident engagement coordinator, I know, I see your look, I know. Nancy and her husband have decided to move back to Vermont to be with family. So her last day here will be July 29th. We're gonna do something in her honor to celebrate her, and we'll let you know as soon as we have that planned. But as you see her, give her hugs and say goodbye. One of the things that was not on the activities calendar for July's printed monthly is a hike that we're gonna do on the 30th of July. It's gonna be to Cougar Mountain with Lisa Broodvik, not Brodvik, Broodvik. And she and I think either Jeff or Daniel will be doing the bus. So anyone can sign up for that. I just want to reiterate that because it's not on the calendar, there is going to be a preliminary training per se, because Lisa wants to make sure that everyone, it's a proper level for them. So reach out. You can sign up in the lower level and get more information on that as well. Elevator number 2 is going to be down for 2 hours next Thursday, the 16th. Yes, okay. It'll be from 5 to 7 a.m. That's planned. We're letting you know. We'll send out another reminder just so that you guys all know that you'll be utilizing Elevator 3 here in Lakeside for those 2 hours next Thursday. All right, we'll end on a really good note. Empower Me is the new company, therapy, contracted company that's coming in. They will officially be in the building Tuesday, July 21st. We have some bios on each of them that we'll get in Touchdown because it's teeny, but we're hoping to get pictures of them first, and then we'll announce that. If you were already on Consonos's caseload, they'll automatically reach out to you directly. If you are not on their caseload and you have a PT or an OT order, then we will get you on with them. So again, the 21st, they'll be on site. We're very excited about that, and we really appreciate your guys' patience while we made that transition. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Hallie. Now we are ready for Michael Hickey to get us up to date on what's going on in assisted living.
Good morning, everyone. You can hear me? Thank you for inviting me to be here today. I appreciate it. I was asked to just give you a few updates about assisted living. And just a, kind of a pre-note, you can always come to me directly, and I'll give you a one-to-one note about what's happening in assisted living if you ever need anything. So don't hesitate. I'm hidden a little bit now, kind of behind that door where we used to have the health center, but we try to leave it open, and I'll make sure that you have access if you need it. So first of all, history's longest, what they call in the industry, short refurb, is finally done, almost. See, I caught you, almost. I still have 2 chairs that are floating around somewhere out there and are going to be arriving at some point. But, for the most part, it's almost done. So once complete, because we kind of want the whole picture, we'll have a little open house to show off a little. So look forward to that, and we'd love to have you come and visit. Of course, you're welcome all the time, but we're going to do something just to kind of show off what we did to help make the environment a little bit more comfortable and refresh it just a little bit. Simultaneously, while we've been doing that, we've been creating and implementing a new electronic health record. The platform under which we manage all of the clinical records and everything that we do to take care of residents on a 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year basis. And that's been also going on since January 3rd. See, I remember exactly what day. And is finally wrapping up, also kind of a couple months behind plan. But starting next week, we will go live at 1 a.m. on Thursday morning, the 16th. And so it'll probably be a slightly frenetic day up there that one day as the nursing staff and everybody get kind of used to using their new tools. I hope to have them well trained. We start our training this afternoon and then have additional training the first part of next week. But we're really excited about this. It has been a long time in the making, but it really is a tool that more directly allows us to assess and determine the service and care needs of the residents in assisted living. And it makes it's much more resident-centric, in my opinion. And that's something that I think has been very necessary. So as a result of that, not only do we have new tools and new ways of doing these assessments and dealing with residents' care plans and things like that, it will mean the implementation of a new pricing tool. So I'll talk more about that next month. We won't be implementing that until the 1st of September at the earliest. We always give 30 days notice, as we are required to, if we are changing any of our pricing mechanisms or pricing tools. So once we determine exactly when it will happen, we'll make sure and give that notice. But we've always used a level of care system here. And the difficulty with levels of care is they're not, once again, resident-centric. And so we are changing to what we call a fee per point system. Every resident who is cared for will be assessed based on this system and will be paying exactly for the care that they are receiving. I've used this system many times over the years that I've been doing this, and I've always found it to be a much more successful system, and found that, quite frankly, I expect that most of you will prefer it as well. So just to give you an update and let you know that that will be happening, okay? Let's see, I think. And then with those last 2 initiatives under our belts, which kind of took all of our time and attention, we are planning on moving towards reopening the lower level wellness clinic. And I know that a lot of you have missed that. I've never experienced it. It hasn't been operational in the time that I've been here, but I have dealt with them in different settings and environments before. So we will be getting back to setting that up. The wellness clinic will be something that we'll be doing probably again around the first part of September. It'll be in the already designated space that is in the lower level, or do we still call it Top Hat? Okay, okay. Anyway, so it will be happening down there. It will be staffed on a limited basis, likely probably 2 days a week during a partial part of each of those days, and it will be staffed by a licensed nurse and then other ancillary staff as we might deem appropriate. And it will have a service menu so that you can be aware of some of the things that you might be able to come to if you need nursing consultation, nursing support to help you make a medical decision, or just nursing assistance from a nurse to perform an actual task. And there will be limitations to what those tasks can be, but again, we'll have a menu so that you know what it is that we can provide for you down there. So I'm very excited about that piece of things. I've been looking forward to that almost since the day I arrived here, but it just, we have to prioritize. So that'll be happening. We look forward to doing that for you. Let's see. Right now, and I know that a lot of people, I hear it, that a lot of people are anxious a little bit about the availability of assisted living inventory and the fact that we are running pretty full. But I assure you, I am not unused to this. This happens in our business all the time, that we are constantly kind of managing and being strategic about available inventory. So right now, just to let you know, I have 3 units available. And so, we will work on finding folks who need those 3 units or wish to have those 3 units. And keep in mind that assisted living, as part of the continuum, is not unlike the health center, a little bit more fluid environment than independent living. Residents in assisted living, there is movement and people that come and go. So every single morning, on the dot, Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, we convene as a group and we look at all of the issues around managing our inventory. So we're continuing to do that, have not had to turn anyone away thus far, and don't intend to do that. And we're always also looking at strategic ways that we're going to kind of develop the program. It's a program in motion. It's something that really began its evolution after I came. So it's only 2 years into growth at this point in time. And so we'll continue to do that. If you have questions or concerns about that, again, call me, email me, stop in, and we'll talk about it. Okay? I want to make sure that you feel like you're in the know, because it's part of what you're entitled to, and I want to make sure that you feel comfortable about it being there. Okay? Lastly, while we continue to manage our current and available space and our plans to open the clinic, I wanted to just share a little bit again with everybody about what assisted living is. And by that I mean what it is that we can do and that we cannot do. And because I think we all need to kind of hear this repeatedly, because it can get a little bit confusing. Assisted living is a licensed entity, and we are under the licensure control of the Department of Social and Health Services, what they call residential care services. And so we have some limitations. They're not significant to what we can actually do, but there are some things that we cannot do. And we name all of that for you in our Disclosure of Services document. The Disclosure of Services document, it's 11 pages. I literally review it the first of the month, every month, to make sure that it continues to be accurate. And I change it if I feel that it needs to evolve or be different in any way. It is posted in Touchtown, and there are hard copies, if you prefer to touch it, that are kept for you at the front desk. And I made sure that they had some more copies of that today. So the disclosure document will tell you what it is that we can and can't do if you have questions. But again, it can be confusing. Pardon me. So bring the document, give me a call, give me an email, or pop in, and I'll be happy to review it with you. We'll go over it, and if you have questions or there's unclarity, I'll do my best to make sure that it's clear. But the big thing to keep in mind, there is a phrase, in the government, well, not like all, many entities, we like phrases and we like to be connected to things. So to be in assisted living under the Washington state laws, the individual has to be considered predictable and stable. Those are the terms. Now, one would think that that'd be pretty concrete. Not really. It's kind of fluid itself, but I'm the one that determines what that is. So that's why I've been doing this for so many years, to learn what that is. So, there will be some folks that at some points we may not be able to care for, hopefully temporarily. And we might have to use one of our partner organizations to help us out in the short term with that individual returning to us. In very, very few instances, there might be residents that we are no longer able to care for, not because we don't want to, but because we're not allowed to under the licensure. We also have partner organizations if we have to take advantage of that. But again, I want to emphasize that would be very infrequent, and we do our best to make sure that that's not the circumstance. We work with residents, we work with their families, we do regular care planning, we review people's care plans every 6 months, and we do our best to keep up with what folks' needs are. So if you have any questions about it, be sure and let me know. Another point is that we, within the assisted living environment on those 2 floors, our nurses, our staff can only provide care to people that are in assisted living. When you are in that licensed area, for us to provide care or services to someone who is not a resident is a violation of the license. And for our nursing staff, quite frankly, it is potentially a violation of their license. So I need to ask that we recognize that. One of the reasons that we're going to make sure we reopen the wellness clinic for you is to be able to address when you have needs that just need, some help or a little bit of care in the proper place so that it's not a problem. But showing up in assisted living to ask for us to wrap a wound or to do this or to help you with something, we just cannot do that. Not because we don't want to, and I think most of you know we do want to because many of my nurses will do it anyway. But we're not really allowed to do that. But we'll take care of that in the wellness clinic for you. So just to make sure that people are aware of some of those limitations, but keep in mind, you have the SARA button, and that's what the SARA alert system is for. So do your best to keep it with you. If you need us, if you need a licensed nurse for an urgent or emergent situation, we will always do our best, and we almost always do with only a couple of exceptions of where we couldn't. We will come to you. We will help you figure out what's going on. We'll provide immediate first aid. And that nurse, it's her job and her role to triage in that instant and then determine what further care you need and help get that care for you. But we don't do treatments or other types of things outside of the people that are in assisted living. Any questions about any of that? I know, and we don't have time for a lot of questions, so I say that almost rhetorically. But if you do have questions about that, I'm going to say this. I will find time to answer those questions for you. And 9 times out of 10, I have an answer. 7 times out of 10, it's the answer you want. Okay? Thank you all very much.
Fantastic, Michael. Thank you. You covered a lot of ground. Next, something not on the agenda, got missed, Foundation. Judy Cheney's going to fill us in a little bit. I think her thunder was stolen a little bit by Hallie, but she will go into more detail.
Good morning. Good to see all of you. I'm just going to reiterate what Hallie said. We had our first session. We have 3 sessions, June, July, and August. This is the Foundation Board putting on a little speaker series to help educate all of us, board members and you people. From the get-go, I would encourage you to bring your families, your children, not grandchildren, but we're talking adults, your friends that might be aging, and looking ahead to how can we have an estate that has fewer taxes. I think if those of you that were here before, we had about 30 residents, I believe, that came in June. The two presenters, I believe, did a great job. Frank had a lot of good feedback. We discussed it at the board meeting, and I learned a lot myself. And I think hearing some things more than once, like even now when Hallie said that, I said this, hopefully you will remember Monday afternoon, right here, 3 o'clock, we will have a reserved seat for you. This year, or this week, next week, Tanvir is going to have a handout to begin with, and we'll give to all the people that attend, so you'll see the PowerPoint presentation, you'll have it in hand. And I think that's gonna help kind of keep you focused. And I believe it went on Touchtown, am I right? Okay, so the presentation is there. So encourage you to come. This flyer, thank you, Frank. You probably have seen it, or maybe it's just now being posted. It'll be in the elevators, hallways, so on and so forth. We'll remind you Monday afternoon. And you know, the key point here is if you take a minute and read this, there's 70,000 pages for the state laws and taxes. And Michael was saying you've got 11 pages. And I thought, wow, you know, what times 11 would you get 70,000 pages? So there's a lot of information, and you know, and we all know, and you know, I'm aging myself right along with you folks. The tax laws change frequently. So whatever we can do to kind of help save some of our money for our loved ones, and if you feel that your loved ones don't need the money, there's other opportunities, and obviously we have this foundation that, you know, is special in my heart. So encourage you to come, support us, support you, and support our school. Okay? Monday afternoon. Thank you.
Thanks, Judy, and I hope it's important that you heard it's not a sales pitch for the foundation. It is information that is useful to all of us in many ways, but that's just one little way a little money could go, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is to educate us all. Next, Denise is representing the Merry Menders.
Okay, the Merry Menders, some of you have been our clients. Is that the word? It's made up of Cheryl Jackson, Marnie Perry, Barbara Quinn, myself, and I think Bonnie Gherkin was going to join us. I haven't seen her lately, but we could use more. If anybody is just handy with a needle and thread, you don't need to be a machine person. Come and join us on the first and third Fridays. We serve only the residents of the Hearthstone. We had a little confusion in the beginning. People were bringing in stuff from their caregivers and workers, but we decided we've got enough to do, and just to serve the residents. That was our purpose. This whole thing got started with a casual conversation between Cheryl and I is, we do some sewing. I wonder if people need help. Oops. So we've done things like hemming. That's usually one thing we can do. Button replacement, patching holes, zippers, waistband repair. And we'll be quick to tell you if we can't do it. We can't do major alterations, so don't come with those pants that need 4 inches taken in because you've lost some weight. Beyond our skill set. Although I have found that YouTube has given me some tips, so I've been challenged by some of it. Most of the time we have to take the items home with us because it requires more than the time that we have as well as the equipment. There is a sewing machine down there. Thank you, Martha McLean. So if you want to, you can certainly go down and use it. It's a new machine, so Cheryl's more familiar with how it works. And it's not very complicated. It's just a matter of how to thread it. Let's see. So we began this in early May, and we have so far, as of last week, served 30 residents and mended about 50 items, and a variety of mending things. And I said, there's no fee for the service. We're doing this as service. But if you want to say thank you, you can make a donation to the Resident Assistant Fund, which is part of the foundation. But you don't have to. I mean, we're just sewing on a button. But those buttons kind of make the blouse fit better or the shirt fit better if it's in the right place. So come the first and third Fridays of the month from 2:30 to 3:30. And last week they were all lined up out in that waiting area that's the health, not the health center, what do you call it? The wellness clinic. It looked like a doctor's office. So.
Well, it is kind of a doctor's office for torn things. Thanks, Denise. Thanks to the Merry Menders. Jean is going to update us on the carnival party.
Good morning. Thank you. I just need to tell you that our Intrepid Committee has been working hard every Monday to plan what we hope is a really fun event to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Hearthstone. It will be a carnival, as Maria said, and it will have games like Zap-A-Mole, Putt and Win, and Troll Toss, which we thought was appropriate for all the Scandinavians living at the Hearthstone. It will also have concessions. We'll have hot dogs, and we'll have cotton candy, popcorn, shaved ice. So that'll be kind of fun too. And we'll have great entertainment, well, from staff and residents. This is a party for everyone here. So all the residents and your families, including children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And it's a party for our staff and their families. So we want to be as inclusive and have as much fun as possible at our carnival. So in order to make it as accessible as possible to everyone, some of you may have heard that it was going to happen up at the playground of the Green Lake Elementary. Okay. We've decided that's not going to work too well because it's just too difficult for some people to make it up there. And so we have decided we're going to have it in the Hearthstone Big Top. You may know that more familiarly as the Lakeside Garage. So, and we also, we decided that this, there's several good reasons for this. People don't have to go up to the playground. We can have it rain or shine. And we also can decorate it and make it look very festive. I was talking to Sarah Allen, who's on our committee, the other day, and she said, well, if Taylor Swift can make Madison Square Garden look like a garden, we can certainly transform the garage into a festive carnival setting. So that's our goal. Okay. You might also want to ask, what happens to the cars? Okay, we're working on that. We hope to be able to use the playground as a parking lot and move the cars up there. There will be many more details later about how that will work. So I can't tell you that right now, but it will be possible. If you are not going to be here that weekend and your car is still in the garage, be sure to tell the front desk, or if you're talking to Lacey Otness, because we will probably need to have your car moved somewhere. Maybe we might not use the entire garage, but the back of the garage. We might still have cars there, and we can move a few up there. We're also having events in the building besides our Hearthstone Big Top. And that we'll have some displays in the chapel of the history. We don't want to forget the history. That's obviously very important. That's why we're having parties. And we'll have displays and photos of that. And then in the Water's Edge, we are having something really fun. We're having a display of our residents' arts and crafts. So if anyone here would like to participate, we already have several, and it's going to be really, really fun to have something displayed just to see the creativity of this community. We would love to talk to you. Right now, one of the committee person is Marnie Perry, and she's on vacation, so I can't talk to her, but you can when she gets back. So if you want to talk to Marnie about that, it would be fabulous. We do have one request, and that is we will need some volunteers. Yes, this party is for everyone, but there will be things that need to be staffed a little bit so that everyone can have a good time. We're only asking for a 1-hour commitment out of the 3 hours of the party. Again, August 22nd, 1 to 4 in the afternoon. And Susan Simons our wonderful volunteer coordinator, has already made great volunteer sheets. She will be visiting, if possible, all of your floor meetings. And if your meeting is too late, she might just visit you individually or talk to the floor chair. But we've got fun things. You can monitor a game. You can sit at the entry table, the welcome table. You can be at the food tables. There's all sorts of things you can do. And it's fun because you get to talk to a lot of people and see everybody. So think about volunteering and please consider coming. This is one of 3 celebrations of the 60th anniversary. And we think ours will be the most fun, which is the residents. So we'll see you on August 22nd, 1 to 4. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jean. Just a reminder, I list on the agenda all of the various committees that often do reports, but they haven't all committed, so they haven't been a no-show if I say they're not here. They don't have anything this month. Dining committee, Sue is out of town, and Hallie covered the big change of having that rotating menu items, so that's covered. Don Bell, I assume you have some fun things to share.
I always have things to share. So as you can tell by everything that's come before, August will be celebration month. The movie committee met yesterday. We are not. We understand that it is celebration month. So we're adding our contribution to that celebration. So this is our 60th anniversary. And if you think back 60 years, you get to 1966. Think about where you were, what you were doing in 1966, if you can stand looking at it. So what we did was we chose 9 movies that were released and shown in 1966. So here they are. First, on August 1st, Blow Up. You'll love it. On the 4th, Born Free. On the 8th, Closely Watched Trains. That's a Czech movie, and I love that movie. On the 11th, Gambit. On the 22nd, Persona, which is a Bergman film. On the 25th, The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming. And on the 29th, Torn Curtain, which is a Hitchcock movie. So that is our lineup. I hope that you can come and see all of them. But there's one more. And I want to apologize to the movie committee. I didn't mention this at the meeting yesterday because it completely skipped my mind. But 2 years ago, the movie committee made a commitment to show on August 14th every year, Boys in the Boat. This is our movie. And so on Friday, the 14th of August, we will have a special showing here at 7 p.m. So that's it, folks. Let's make August a great celebration month. Okay, I didn't put down on this sheet of paper what the Cove movie was. So, I'm sorry? Babe. The pig? That Babe. Okay. A celebration month is never complete without a pig.
Good save. Meg is going to update us on Green Team.
I'm not as tall as Rob Bowman, so let's see. Well, first of all, the Green Team is hopes to help the Carnival Committee make the Carnival a sustainable event. Rob is the primary person working with them on that, and we don't know exactly where that'll go, but recycle all your appropriate stuff, and and we hope it will be recyclable or compostable. Anyway, we're working on that. The Green Team is also able to do one project each year that involves some effort or expense by staff. And last year, our project was to put disposal bins, compost, recycling, and garbage in various places around the community where people eat food. And we finally got that done in a year and a half. This year, we're off to a roaring start. As soon as we propose something, it's going to happen. And it has to do with making sure that the information on Touchtown about how to dispose of different materials, especially the ones that are used here for food service, where everything goes so you can dispose of it correctly. So that's our project for this year, and as I say, I can't say it's almost done, but it's certainly underway. And anyway, so and then finally, we will make a more concerted effort to distribute these little stickers that you can put on your disposal containers in your own apartment, your garbage cans and recycling bag, or however you sort stuff in your compost container, so that your housekeepers can more properly dispose of your trash. So that's what the Green Team has been up to.
Thanks, Meg. Do we have a gift shop update? Not today. Rita, publications? Not today, okay. Joyce, library? And Steve, anything on landscape advisory? Okay, thank you. Well, I think that's everything on the list. Can I hear a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Aye. Enjoy your extra 10 minutes. Thanks.